On today's show, I recommend a restaurant to Alice. This is the same Alice that was chased by a lion man last week. Welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast with Michael and Sandy.
Hello and welcome, everybody. I'm so excited you're here.
This is another half hour of us eavesdropping on the very personal communication between the spirit world and souls on their earth journey, because that's what dreams are. Messages from the spirit world to us, the souls on the earth plane. And that's why we focus on dreams. If you want to know what you're meant to be doing in your life right now at this very moment in time, then look no further than your dreams, because your higher self is talking to you in your dreams and saying how true you are or are not being to your life purpose. And we all want to be true to our life purpose. Sandy, anything to say?
I do. I have a lot to say. So we had a fabulous summit on October 6th through the 8th. And the exciting news is, yes, the recordings are done. And so Michael has sent out a link showing that they're all done. And he did a fabulous job. It took him hours upon hours to edit and get those ready. We taped through breaks and everything just so we made sure we continued to record. And so that took a lot of time. It was a 2.5 day event. So he had to spend over 2.5 days going through everything to make sure that they look good. And now he's got it out there and it is phenomenal. Michael, tell him where it's at.
Well, it's an easy place actually. 2023.dreaminterpretationsummit.com. That's where you'll find them. And they're just free for a few days. So you don't have to sign up or anything. You could just go there, watch them. And I think you'll have it till about Wednesday next week. All right.
Yeah. So is that at dream-analysis.com? And then 2023, what's the full address?
This is how Sandy really helps the business. I give the correct URL and Sandy jumps in with a completely made up fabricated URL and says, is that the one? No, it's 2023.dreaminterpretationsummit.com. But do tell me what you find on Sandy's URL, because I'll be interested to know.
Got to keep you on your toes, Michael. It's always fun. So we have classes coming up, all kinds of stuff. Do you want to talk a wee bit about what's going on?
You know, I don't know what I'm running on now. I think I'm running on caffeine because it's been 2 very, very long weekends and a very long week in between. It was great. We had such a marvelous event. We had a lot of follow-up calls with people, about 65 so far, which is astounding. But we have a lot of courses that are launching right now, and there's discounts because of the summit. Like we really do it in style when we do the summit. So we have our healing course, we have our mentorship course, which is the big one, the one that lasts a year and teaches you how to interpret dreams like I do here on the radio. And then the healing course allows you to overcome major trauma in your life. And we're going to cover a dream that shows exactly why you would want to heal major trauma in your life. That's our second dream today. But we have other courses coming up as well, like learning how to channel and so on. But I think that's enough for now. Possibly. But to get the information on these, go to dream-analysis.com, click on courses, and you'll see all the dates there.
Yeah, so I'm real excited because we pulled one of the dreams from the summit. So people that were there may recognize the dream. It is a very good dream that does show all the nuances that can come up in a dream. And I think it's fabulous. So we'll cover that as part of this show. All righty, Michael, I better dive in so we can get to that, okay?
Yes, indeed. You may recognize the dream, but you won't recognize the name. We've disguised it.
Yes. All righty. So the title of this first dream is Michael Recommends a Restaurant, and it's from Alice. And Alice has been running, so I'm excited to see what happens in this one. I'm in a busy area, and I keep forgetting my wallet around town. And the last time I do it, I feel frantic and realize that I actually had it the whole time right in my hand. I end up at a bar and I call my husband because I'm very tired and hungry and I want to get some food. And my husband is on the phone and he is doing that thing where he doesn't answer back quickly because he's focusing on something he's doing on the computer. There is a girl in front of me in a chair leaning behind her, and I push her forward because she's invading my space. She's in a green sweater. It's a pretty shade. Another girl approaches and she compliments me. She says, I'm stylish. I thank her. I didn't think I looked particularly stylish, though. Then I'm talking to Michael Sheridan.
Woohoo.
My husband has told me, to meet him somewhere, but Michael highly recommends this other spot. He says it's good for the libido. I go there and tell my husband to meet me there instead. It is a big, spacious restaurant, and I sit in the waiting area for my husband, and I see Michael and Sandy sitting at a big table. I wonder if they'll invite my husband and I to join them for dinner. There are all these pools, like hot springs. It looks nice. Earlier in the dream, Sarah has a meeting with a tutor. Her name is Sabra. And Sarah wants to go somewhere with her friends. So I have to call this woman and cancel at the last minute. I do, and I'm apologetic. I tell her it's summer and so busy and we're actually moving. So we will start again in the fall. And then I find out from Sarah and her friends that this woman was rude to Sarah. So I don't think I'll be back in touch with her after all. There is also a scene of a guy walking a dog, and he passes a section of the street where there are all these little designer dogs taking a class. He seems annoyed. All right, Michael, I'm going to let you take over from there. There's already a lot in this dream.
You can ask me questions about this one, but it's very straightforward. We see the start where she's working on rebalancing masculine energy. So it's a good dream. We see issues with the husband straight away. Like he doesn't give her the attention that she needs. He's not focusing on her when she wants to communicate. And that triggers her. She doesn't like that at all. The phone is about communication, and then he's taking his time to get back to her. So what else have we got? She doesn't, so because of the way this dream is, I asked her, do you do lavish things? Like, do you treat yourself? Do you give yourself a spa day? That kind of thing. And that's because of the way she describes the restaurant. She said it's a really lovely, posh, stylish restaurant. And she said, no, she doesn't because, and even if she does, she always feels like, well, I'm neglecting my partner and the kids might need me. And the kids are older. So this is one of her issues. She doesn't do lavish things because she has this idea that somehow or other pampering herself for a day is putting out everybody else in her life, which of course is not true. But the dream is saying, look, pamper yourself because that does wonders for your libido. We see another thing that she needs to work on, and that is not ever wanting to inconvenience people. So she takes over from her daughter and she calls the woman on the phone to cancel a meeting. And she's super apologetic. She's making all sorts of stories up about it. Not that she's making them up, but she's elaborating on why she has to cancel and that we'll call back and all that sort of stuff. So this means if she inconveniences somebody, she feels terrible. And of course, we don't come into life like that. We all have a friend who has no problem inconveniencing you. So you know what it's like, no skin off their nose. And it's not that we should be like that, but there has to be a reason why it's so difficult for her to do something just as simple as cancel an appointment without feeling like, oh my gosh, I've really upset this person's day. And then the last thing we have is the dog on the leash represents intimacy issues. In other words, I'm everything in the dream. So I'm also the animal that's on a leash, or I keep my animal side on a leash. Sandy, what are your questions?
All righty. So what's going on with the wallet around town? And then it's in her right hand.
The right is the masculine side. She's trying to address the imbalance in her masculine side. But usually when we're trying to address that imbalance, we're too masculine. So she is too masculine. She's holding her heart like her hostage, let's say, with her masculine side.
Oh, that's very good. Okay. At a bar. So what's going on with the bar?
Oh, well, a bar is about suppression. So there's a couple of things in this dream. I kind of glossed over the feminine energy stuff, like the wallet and the bar, because she's working on masculine. And so we do still see women in the dream. We see the daughter and we see another woman too. So there's two layers, but the focus that we want to be on is the masculine side because that's where she's doing the healing at the moment in time. But we're complicated people. So we're always going to see more than one layer in a dream. I just try skip a layer, but Sandy, of course, won't let me.
Mm-mm. Nope. And then we have a girl that's invading her space.
This is pretty good because masculine energy is about setting boundaries and keeping boundaries. I mean, that's one of the traits of it. And she's been pretty bad about that. So here, when we see someone invading her space, she actually pushes back. That is an issue. That shows something positive is happening now, that she's creating her own space and saying, hey, don't encroach.
And then we've got a spacious restaurant.
This is the lavishness. So I asked her about the restaurant and she said it's like a restaurant that we took her to in Bellevue. And she said it's really lavish and stylish and so on. So that gives us the kind of mood that was set in the dream.
And then of course she sees us at a big table, not a small table, but a big table. And then what are these pools? Like hot springs. Ooh.
That's going to be about getting into life, or different spiritual levels. I think you've had similar pools in your dreams.
Yep, I have. And then little designer dogs taking a class.
So the emphasis is on the little designer dogs. It's all about looking prim and proper and being perfect and like being the perfect wife, the perfect mother, as opposed to, so she holds herself on a leash to be that way because the contrast is between the dog on a leash and the designer dogs. So it's really, she needs to unwind and be herself.
All righty. Wow. There was a lot in that dream. So
there's a lot in that dream because you keep squeezing pieces out of it, Sandy.
I thought it was a really good dream. So does it show that she's doing the healing, or what are you seeing in this?
Yeah, clearly. We just want to see the dreams showing the masculine side, predominantly showing that. Now, I know this dream shows both, but we see the encroaching and her pushing back. So that's really good. We wouldn't have seen that in earlier dreams.
Fabulous. All righty. Well, I think I've helped you dissect that one enough. It's time to move on.
Thank you for the help.
Anytime. All righty. And this is playing soccer. Daughter shot in the leg. All righty. I was playing soccer on a field, but instead of grass, it was cream colored, like maybe sand. At halftime, we decided to go to this one player's house. We went into her house and were playing with her dogs. They were all soft-coated Wheaten Terriers, same as my dog. One dog came over to me. It was really small, and I crouched down to see it. It immediately went on its back. It looked like it may have peed somewhere because its belly was a little wet, and it felt, and its feet looked yellowish, like it had walked through pee. Ugh. I asked if I could rub its belly because it was lying on its back, and my teammates said yes. As I was rubbing its belly, I saw two dogs playing across the room and asked how many dogs she had. She said that she had 4. I got up and went across the room. As I got closer to the 2 dogs, they weren't dogs anymore. They were 3 kittens playing with each other. I asked whose kittens they belonged to, and she said that they were hers also, and that she had just gotten them. I was looking at the one dog whose belly I was rubbing, and as he walked in front of me, he started to disappear, but it was like 3 or 4 stages, and it happened as he was walking. He was there, and then poop, poop, boop, 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 boop. He puffed away, leaving a foggy puff of cream dust. All right, Michael, that's going to be interesting. Can't wait to hear what's going on.
So for those of you who have difficulty remembering a dream, Tiffany has dreams that are like War and Peace. And she always says, I only have one dream this week. And it's like, really? She is sucking all the dreams out of the ether, or all the dream space out of the ether from all of you. And that's why you're not remembering your dreams. Because this is a mammoth dream. This is just the first part. So Okay, she's working on issues with mom. And so we want to see women in this dream. And cream is a really good healing color for issues with mom. It's fantastic. So the fact that we see that at all is superb. And in her case, her mom can show up as a man. So if mom is very controlling and very masculine in her outlook in life and how she behaves, then she can show up as a man in dreams. And this, for this lady, that's how it shows up. We see the digestive system being emphasized. So she's got trouble with the digestive system. We know that because of the dog's belly and because of the kittens. Kittens are almost always going to be about that. And it's a puppy and kittens, so it's childhood for those animals. So it's going to be about the dreamer's childhood. But playing with the dogs is good. And in fact, so is the dog urinating, because that's about eliminating issues from childhood. So if we see a puppy urinating, really, really good in a dream, if that's what you're working on. Next piece, Sandy.
Can I ask questions?
It's so long, I'd say no.
All righty, I'll just continue on. We decided to leave and go back to the game. As we go to get in her car, we are now in some basement area of a building. We open these black double doors and stuff is blocking the way, so we can't get through. My daughters and my teammates' brothers are with us. We are trying to find our way out. We come back to the double door and somehow get through it and around the stuff. And we are looking for the car in this large garage area of the building. Now we are all separated. I find the car, and the owner of this location thinks we are trying to steal stuff and starts shooting at us. I get into the car and I'm driving it to where they can jump in when I see my daughter get shot. My other daughter and my soccer friend run over to her and jump out of the car screaming, "No, no, no." I'm crying and sprinting over to her. I realize that she was shot in her leg, and I'm not as scared because it doesn't seem like a serious gunshot wound, like something she would die from. I tell my friends to put her one hand on top of the bullet hole and one hand underneath her leg on the other side of the wound to stop the bleeding. We all get in the car and realize that my friend's brother is still inside. I'm worried for him, but my friend says I shouldn't worry because he has superpowers.
All right. So again, quickly on it, because there's a lot in there and we're still only scratching the surface of the dream. The double doors are about the heart. You know, you can come and go at the same time. It allows for two-way flow. So it's a good thing in a dream, healing for the heart. But it also, because it's blocked, it's not about the heart being blocked. It's about heart issues and digestive system being connected. And then we see a man who's angry. The angry symbol, of course, is shooting at people. You can't get more angry than that. I'm angry enough to shoot you. So this says mom was angry. So this is the connection, the emotional connection, which is why the heart's there, to problems with the digestive system are mom's angry and controlling nature. Then we see the stealing going on in a dream. That tells us the dreamer doesn't like sharing, because it's everything is yours in a dream. So when something is stolen, it's like, yeah, I don't want to share how I feel or things like that. You know, it's things of that nature. Then we have the daughter being shot in the leg. Again, that links digestive system issues with an ability to move forward. We know digestive system because it's been in the first paragraph and it's in this paragraph in the blockages. So I always find it interesting. I say to people, "Oh, do you have digestive system trouble?" And they go, "No." And then later on, you find out that they limit what they eat a lot because they used to have digestive system problems. And then they can't eat these things or they'll have problems again. So that doesn't mean you've no problems. If you have to watch what you eat, you have a problem. And the dreams are trying to address the real cause rather than you having to avoid eating particular things because it triggers it. Dreams want to fix the problem. So, Sandy, what's it like not asking questions? Is it fun?
No. I have tons of questions like the car, the brother inside. I mean, yeah, tons of questions, Mike.
We'll see more later on. It might answer it for you.
All righty. Then it's like I'm inside the building watching, and I see them trying to grab him, and all of a sudden, bright light emanates from his whole body, and the people who were holding him get thrown far away from him across the room. He laughs and comes running out of the building. Wow.
So that's really good. It's like I have an inner light that protects me. I mean, you couldn't see something better. The guy says he has superpowers earlier on, so we expect something to show up. So it's like I'm protected. Fantastic thing to see in a dream.
All righty. Okay, next. And this looks like it's very long. Now I'm back driving the car, and we see him running out of the building, and he jumps in the car. The car is a small pickup truck, and we are speeding through the streets to get to the hospital. It's dark, and the road is hilly. And I'm also having a hard time seeing where I'm driving because the driver's seat is really far away from the front of the car. This is a reoccurring driving theme for me over the years. Then all of a sudden, I can't see out the front windshield at all. The windshield looks larger than normal, and there is something covering it from the outside that is the same color brown as cardboard. I stop the car, and they are all telling me to keep going. And I see that I can't drive if I can't see. Then the windshield is clear, and I see through it again. I continue driving, and we get to the hospital. We are trying to check my daughter in, except the check-in area is outside the building on the sidewalk next to the parking lot. She is also in a wheelchair now. There are lots of cars coming and going, and lots of people trying to check into the hospital. And it seems to be busy and lots of confusion. A nurse comes out to help us. She is a very friendly Black woman. We push her wheelchair, and we cross the parking lot into another building. My daughter is talking with the nurse and refers to herself as once being a nurse. I was confused about that because I didn't know that there was something she had done. We were waiting in front of this large open metal lift. It looks like a lift for a car that is going to take my injured daughter up to the second level where she will go inside. They finally take her, and my other daughter goes up with her. I leave to go get my husband. Oh my goodness, Michael, there is a lot in that.
Okay, which is why it's cool to say, Sandy, don't ask questions. So we see the fog in the first part. That's really like, I'm confused about where to go in life. So I can't see where I need to go. Very, very straightforward. And then in the second part, and also notice they're taking an injured person to a hospital. Do you remember we talked about the arc of dreams on a healing journey or in therapy before? And I said at some point we'll see bloody people, like you might see conflict or war scenes and lots of blood and gore. And here we have the blood and gore, and we have them going to the hospital. So we can see where this is on that arc of healing. So it's really good. Because the first part is all about exposing the wounds that I already have. And these are the wounds. And now I'm going to go get them healed. So it's really nice to see it in a dream. So anyway, the Black woman says, I have issues with women, especially in groups. But we know she has issues because she has issues with mom. But this is part of the problem then. My issues with mom are so big that I have difficulty with women. Like, how horrible is that if you're a woman? Then she also has an issue with what she should eat. She tends to obsess too much about food and what she should eat. So she then tends to not eat anything. I can't imagine that. But this is the digestive system issue that she has. She doesn't eat well because she obsesses about what should she eat. And the reason she obsesses is because of the difficulty she has if she eats the wrong thing. So there we go.
So I just have to ask, where was the sign about the fact that she obsesses about what to eat? I missed that.
It wasn't, but we see the digestive system being referred to multiple times in multiple paragraphs. We have the kittens and the dog's belly at the start. We have the blockage in the second one, which is about the digestive system. And it's just throughout the dream. I'm sure it's in this piece too, if I scanned it again. But because it's there so much, it's like, okay, tell me what's going on. And then she fessed up and told me this.
Okay, cool. All righty. Next part of this dream. I'm in my house, my current home. now standing in the doorway to our garage, looking out at the inside of the garage. This is the actual setup of our house. I hear my husband come home and I open the garage door. The dogs, my two actual dogs, run out of the house, out of the garage, and into the driveway past him as he is walking in the garage. I tell him about our daughter. Oddly, there are a bunch of guys there. I think my brother-in-law and my son are among them, who were making fun of the situation about my daughter getting shot. I'm really mad because she is hurt and they are making fun of her and defend her by making very sarcastic remarks to the guys. We are in the house and my husband decides to eat dinner. I'm annoyed and decide to leave and go back to the hospital without him.
Okay. Well, that last part's not good. And all the men being negative, also not good. But the part that I took out of this, I was saying, okay, do you get sarcastic when you're hurt? And she said, I do, but nobody knows it because I'm only sarcastic in my head. I am saying all sorts of things to these people in my head that is really sarcastic. So the retorts are in her head. But anyway, it's still there. So this is something that she has to address, that people are able to trigger her this way when she's hurt, which is an emotional thing, which is feminine energy. And that's what she's working on. So she has to include healing this so that she doesn't have these retorts in her head.
As I arrive at the parking lot of the hospital, I start to wonder about the game because it's been a long time since we left and the game must have continued on without us. I'm with somebody, but I don't know who they are. I'm looking for a parking spot when I see a brand new expensive sports car with the window rolled down, and Kenny Chesney is in the driver's seat smiling at me. He offers me his parking spot and pulls out and drives to another spot so I can take his spot. The whole time he is smiling. Then I woke up.
All right. So we finished nicely. Did you? This is such a log dream. Did you remember she was playing soccer at the start? But it is about playing the game of life still. So here we see the sports car. So this is her using her own hands-on healing ability in her own dream to help heal herself of all the issues that went on earlier in the dream. And I think Kenny Chesney is a singer. That represents she has a channeling ability too. So the dream is showing that all the work she's doing on herself is going to help her healing ability and her channeling ability. And we have definitely run out of time. So thanks everybody for listening. Sandy's going to be upset with me for the rest of the day because I didn't let her ask questions. But there you go.
No.
Take care, everybody.
Have a good week. Bye.